A fireplace combo?
No, I wanted to know because you keep talking about shots.
Oh, yeah. I thought I brought whiskey out.
So, here's my deal.
Okay, wait. So that's where we left off. Is like we had differing opinions about sort of the purpose of who the audience is in this game.
Not the purpose of the audience.
No, sorry, not the purpose. So like, who is the audience?
No, all right. Here's my deal. I feel as though this game, called Friendzone.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to slur my words.
That wasn't
a
a
little
slur.
bit.
You just said. Anyways, go ahead.
Thank you. Do I have permission to continue?
Sorry, I didn't realize we were recording this now.
I did. That's why I'm.
Now I feel like an asshole. Now I feel like an asshole.
No, man, I love it. You're the antagonist of this podcast.
Everyone hates me now.
We love to hate you now. No, so here's my idea of it is that it doesn't need to be. It can be. It's more about the idea of relationships than it is about sexual congress. Like, to me, the goal of the game is either the goal of the game should either to be have the most friend zones, or to get out of said friend zone.
So you're saying Friendzone is a game about collecting friends into your zone?
Well, it's I guess the idea would be you're trying to find someone to date you, but they will friend zone you if you're not lucky or careful. I don't know how we're doing that, but I don't think we need to bring sex into it.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Overtly,
Yeah.
I feel like we're losing a lot of any demographic.
See, I disagree.
It's not necessarily necessary.
Right.
But
if
no,
it's just about having sex, a lot of people are not going to be into that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like we're limiting our
Lesbian.
audience.
We're losing the lesbian
because
crowd.
I don't care about the audience. I
Rude.
care about making a game.
I've had sex with a lot of lesbians. I should know.
I care about making
they
a game
turned
that I think
lesbian
we would
as soon
find
as I had
fun.
sex with them.
And to me, I think what we would find fun, because I think it's fun to have this argument about what we would find fun, right, is, to me, the goal of the game is friend zone is the goal is about finally having sex with someone.
Like that's
not
the goal.
To me,
So losing
I'm
your
sorry,
virginity. It's a virginity losing 90s era high school.
I don't even care about virginity. I just care about the goal is like...
So it's American Pie the game.
You start in a
Ugh.
friend zone with a bunch of different people, and your goal is to get out of said friend zone, because that's the goal of the whole point of when you're friend zoned. In my mind, is getting out of it.
My question is, who are the players?
Sex is
are the players only
but
men?
a relationship is out of the friend zone.
The relationship implies the sex.
I would say implies the sex. It's all about being
It
a sexual.
implies it. We're allowed to imply it for
fine,
sure.
fine,
I'm not against that.
I'm okay with not having sex directly be involved in it, but I think we need to agree that there has to be a sexually implied relationship versus a.
I'm sorry. Are we
Sure.
just struggling over the term of friend zone in general?
No, but
what does it mean?
No, but that was where I wanted to start this conversation. Is like, how are we defining friend zone?
Right.
Because
like,
we define what a friend zone is.
Somebody who you're in a
then it makes it easier for us to understand the goal of the game. And I think the goal of the game should have a central. I think the goal of the game should have a central purpose, and it's easy for said purpose to be about getting out of the friend zone.
We all agree,
I don't know how to tell.
We all agree the goal of the game is to get out of the friend zone.
Okay,
cool.
So then let's define what it means to be in a friend zone.
Yeah.
You're not
or
in a
getting out of it,
relationship.
rather. Getting out of it, though.
I mean, I don't think we need to get hung up on whether there's sex or not. We all agree that the
Straight
goal
up,
is
like-
getting out of the friend zone. How do you get out of the friend zone?
To be in a sexual
No,
relationship.
that's the goal. But like, what's the actual mechanic of getting out of the friend zone?
I feel like there has to be some kind of
How do you
card-based
win the game?
mechanic where you do actions based on the cards that you have that get you out of the friend zone, that woo the girl, so to say.
You do actions,
and the friends can be horrible, like negging or something.
So there's cards.
Yeah, and there's cards, and that gives you.
Oh
the
my
actions.
god, is that it? Of like, you draw cards as to how you can approach your sexual partner.
Like, you have to play the hand you're dealt.
But
exactly,
most of them are bad ideas. Of like, you write a poem for this woman you've never met, and you read it out loud in front of the class.
I like that.
There's a lot of bad ideas that
Like,
basically would not get you out of the friend
It's not just about
zone.
getting out of the friend zone. It's also just about navigating dating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's
I
about
think
a
that's great.
recognition of like,
So-
here are the tropes of dating and things that you should either follow versus not follow.
And something that would work on one woman.
Well, no,
would
do-
not
do-
work on
okay,
another.
first of all-
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
100% we
There's traits
have
and
to
the
put
different actions that
on
are used.
And you don't know everything about a woman
the
at the beginning.
warning.
Yeah.
We need to put
And
a
so you can
warning.
use stuff and
Do
then-
not
Does the
take
trait
this
work or
as
not? Yeah,
advice.
that's the action you need
Do
to
not
in
take.
any way.
take this as
There could be
gospel
some
that you
clues.
should
Yeah.
use this.
in the description.
Do
of
not
them.
try to date someone
question
using
is, though,
these
are the players
methods.
This is
only
not
men?
real dating
Or
advice.
can they be
Yeah.
men
It has
and
to be.
women?
This is not
so
real
you
dating
do-
advice. That's a good
Players have to play against each other if it's men and women. So then they
summarized
can get to the
version.
women.
But then I guess that's cool. Okay, so Adam's saying,
Do we all start in the friend zone? Or
and that's
do you
kind of what I'm
develop a
saying
friend
is
zone?
like,
But who are we
dating,
to start?
What we're describing right now is like dating. We're not necessarily describing the friend zone, which is like, so, the
Ooh,
friend zone.
can you fail by getting into the friend
Friend-
zone?
But friend zoning is like failing at dating to some degree, right?
Yes, yes,
And
agreed.
so, to me, it's like what we're describing is a game about dating.
Well,
not
okay.
a game about friend zone.
Let's. If anyone else
How-
hears this, let's just say it's not failing at dating.
Well,
getting
no,
friend
it's
zoned.
failing to present
Okay.
yourself as a
Keep,
sexual.
keep
Sorry,
living,
Sam.
kings.
No. It's a failure to present yourself as a viable sexual option.
What? No,
Right?
that's not how it works, though.
No, isn't that what a
I'm
girl no
sorry.
longer views you
I
as a
think so-
sexual
I think
option?
so.
No,
though, if
straight
we
up.
take that-
I'm sorry. Back up. Do you look at your partner and just go, "Damn, she's viable"? Like
That's not what I'm saying.
it sounds like what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that, like, when you get friend zoned or whatever, the girl in this
here, I can
situation,
pack
whatever,
another,
no longer views you as a sexual object.
Sam,
They views you as a nice,
I don't know what I did with the lighter.
a
There it
great
is.
guy, or whatever, who they would want to hang out with, which is the trap or whatever. Because as part of trying to woo her or whatever, you want to present yourself as someone that you would want to hang out with, but you would also want to present yourself as someone that you would want to hang out with, but also in a sexual context or whatever. And so that's sort of the fine line that you're trying to navigate, maybe as part of this game.
I don't want to make a game that's super
This is-
heteronormative just because it turns off
Yeah,
half of the potential buying market.
Okay.
maybe the
Strictly
game.
Half.
tactically.
Maybe the game takes
also,
place
yeah,
in two
the-
stages.
You guys
So
are making
every
very
every
cis.
guy or girl woos another person, and you play.
Well, no, okay, here's
you
my
play
idea.
2 rounds, or you play as a man, and then you
Can
play as
I-
a woman, or
Okay.
vice versa.
Yep.
Can
And
I
so
put
then
out-
you play almost against the people you're rooting against to try to almost teach
So-
empathy. About
Wait,
how
but
your
can I put
actions
out
come
my
off to the
broad
other
sort of?
party.
I have this
Okay.
idea that I feel like I've always worked better with restrictions.
You do
Maybe
like
that's
to be
not-
restricted, don't you?
You can't hear it, but I winked at him.
I know, I saw
Um,
you. Sorry, fair recording. Yes, recording.
Oh no, the bug.
Well, okay, let me back up.
No, but wait. Here's my idea. What if we set? So, what if there are set characters? It's like Clue. There's like Mrs. Scarlet and Red Robin. Those would be the same fucking piece. Sorry.
So tropes you play as?
Goddamn, there's Captain Licorice and Mrs. Bonnet. So, but it's in a high school. Classic high school dating,
Sure, yeah,
fucking Babysitter's Club. So there's multiple characters you can choose from when you start. Maybe they don't have any effect. It's really more of just what color piece you are. But it would help you to be like, oh, I'm playing as Susan. Am I gay, straight, bi? I get to choose. As the player, it doesn't matter, but I am Susan.
Okay. Yep.
I'm a character that identifies as yada yada. There's got to be a way to work with sort of the times and the new understanding of gender.
I'm not trying to argue.
I'm not
that-
trying to be like fucking Tucker Carlson
Let me
and
take
be
a step
like,
back.
God damn it, it's
I'm-
men and penises.
Well, what is the
Sam,
gameplay,
I'm not
though?
trying
And
to
then we can
argue that
adapt
it has to be a
however
man
we're
and a
trying
woman.
to
It
make
could be a man and a man, it
morally.
could be a woman and a woman, it could be.
It's going to be
whatever.
just like that game from the 90s where you pick up a phone and try to date somebody.
I'm not trying to argue about like what the sex of each person is. What I'm trying to
Mauled
say is that
madness.
No,
friend
but-
zone to me, and this is where I'm going to go back to defining what it means to be friend zone. Friend zone to me is basically one party finds the other as a sexual, like, they want to engage in a full-on relationship with them, and the other
Right,
person likes them but doesn't view them as a sexual, not being isn't the right word, but like
as a
they don't find
relationship compatible partner.
Yeah, as a sexual relationship
So,
compatible.
let
So
me-
like a friend relationship, yes.
Okay,
a
but
sexual
how do you get
relationship,
past
no.
that?
Let me-
As someone
No, but
who
to
never
me-
has.
To me, that's the point of the game. That's why I feel like that's what we should be figuring out as the point of this game is like, how do you
No,
navigate
you're right.
those waters?
Okay.
Here's what I'm
So it
saying.
doesn't
is
have
that-
to be a guy and a girl. It can be any fucking sex that you are.
Exactly.
No, but-
exactly. What I'm
but-
saying is we need to be able to universalize it.
Yeah.
Like friend zoning, we
Yeah,
all
that's-
agree can happen to
It
anybody.
is totally universal.
It
It is
has
Yeah,
nothing
totally
to do
universal.
with what
But
gender
so-
you are,
but,
what your
all right.
sexual orientation
But
is.
that-
so
but
then
everyone
what
knows-
else
yeah, it's the same
about
thing.
I feel like
this
our
experience
boy,
is
our baby
universal.
boy here has broken the bottle. How do you get out of the friend zone? Has anyone done
Well,
it?
and that's
Well, you
the thing
don't buy
is
glass
like
bottles, first of all. You don't want them to break.
No, but Sam, that's what I think
All
the
right,
point of
that's
the
a
game should
new
be. Is
dad
about
talking.
breaking out
You're
of
not
that
allowed
bottle.
to make those jokes.
But here's the thing: is this game doesn't need to mimic reality, because in reality,
it needs-
there is no universal way to break out of the friend zone. What this game presents is a fantasy that everybody kind of has, which is if they play their cards
Which
right,
is breaking
they
out.
Oh
will
my
break
God,
out of the
wait,
friend
no,
zone.
but
Agreed.
what
yes,
if it's-
Mike? 100%. I agree.
Wait, but what if that's on paper? No, it wouldn't work. Sorry.
Because that gives
This
a
is
goal
bad.
to the game.
Yeah.
That's your goal to the game is getting out of said
And
friend
the
zone.
audience for this game are people who believe they can
I have a
reason
bad
their way out of
idea.
a friend zone.
Yeah.
Which is universal, I think.
But it would be fun if
Also,
you,
I like it weasel.
if
your
you
way out.
set up the
Reason.
game.
Oh, I think you said weasel your way out. I was like,
Both.
sorry, Sam. What were you saying?
What if you set up the game as like a gotcha kind of game, where it starts when you open it of like, oh, the rule is you got to get out of the friend zone, but then by the end you learn there is no way out of the friend zone. You just need to learn to live in it. You fucking loser. And then you get points based on how many women friends you have or other sex friends you have.
I mean, I would argue in reality, if you're in the friend zone, there's really not a reality of getting out of it. But that's to Mike's point that I would agree with is like the game should be about the fantasy of how to get out of it.
No, I want to pick this
Okay,
up,
but so then let's pick at that. How does one get out of the friend zone? Because that is the
Right.
core theme.
But this
and
goes back to
mechanic of the
I
game.
think what Adam was saying is like you have cards, or if we're talking mechanics.
Okay,
whatever,
so I
there's
draw a
certain-
card.
You
What
have
does it
certain-
say?
certain actions that you can do, whatever,
Yeah.
such as like writing a fucking poem or whatever.
Right.
Probably not likely to get
So
you out of
we
the friend zone, right?
We have cards that you're given. We have multiple partners because
Ooh.
strategies that would work on one partner doesn't work.
Exactly,
on another
everyone's
partner.
different.
Well,
Yep.
what if we introduce dice?
I think
So you draw a card, say write a poem, and then you roll a die, and it's like if you roll a nat 20, she loves it. If you roll anything else, she is
Yeah.
embarrassed as fuck.
and that's where their characteristics.
Oh,
will
a
come into
dice
it.
has a piece to it.
right. Well, there's
and so
definitely
the
a luck
character-
element, whether that's in the cards whether that's in the cards you draw, or also a dice mechanic. I don't think. Yeah, I think there's.
Also, what I like about maybe the
That's
idea of the
fine
game is
either
like
way.
technically every player is where everyone starts in the friend zone. Your goal is to get out of the friend zone with one of the players. So you have guys and girls as players or whatever. And you
Wait,
don't
so you're
care-
just trying to
you don't
fuck
care-
another
players will
player?
always
Exactly.
win.
Your goal is to get out of the friend
No,
zone with
then
one
the
player.
players
It
would
doesn't
work
matter
together.
if
I
it's a guy or a girl.
So it doesn't. So it's like a 5-player game. But
Oh,
Exactly.
I
some
was
players
playing
will
with
win.
my wife and friends,
And
and
it doesn't matter if
we
it's a guy or a
fucked
girl,
each
or
other.
whatever. Whatever one that you are able to get out of the friend zone
Are
with,
two
you
guys
fucking win.
going to be okay getting out of the friend zone with each
Yeah.
other?
Yeah,
as
sure.
players?
Why not? Yeah.
So then, does it just
So
become
then
a race
the
for
game would
pairing
just
off?
be
to me, it should be a race to
to
get pair off. Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be. Yeah.
So
That's
then it'd
cool.
be like a 5-minute
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
I feel
this
like-
game is so fast.
What are you, homophobic? Yeah,
Dude,
play this fucking
no,
game.
all right, back up. Then this game should literally just be that moment in middle school when they're like, all right, everybody pair up for a science class thing, and you have to find a friend.
Blowing that fire a little bit.
No? Mm-hmm. You feeling this?
No.
Bro, I was
That's exactly
last
what I'm
in- I was
arguing. That's
always
exactly what I'm
Same.
arguing. Is like
gym, but first in science.
find the person
Oh,
that
really?
you're
I
most,
was last
that you're
in
most
everything.
likely to get out of the friend zone with. So doesn't fucking matter. Whoever you're most likely to get out of the friend zone with, go for it. Your goal is to get out of the friend zone with someone.
So
But
then,
that's-
okay,
that's
then,
what
all right,
message
so
are we
obviously,
sending?
all right, so then
It's
let's
an adult game. We're not trying to teach kids
No, it's
lessons.
not. We had a whole conversation about how it's not an
right.
adult
It
game.
is an adult game.
So we've
To you.
kind of figured out like the win condition. How do you go from starting the game to winning the game? Like, what does a turn look like?
I would say win condition is getting out of the friend zone.
I know. I think we're all aligned on that.
Okay.
I think
All
I'm
right,
saying,
I
like,
think-
let's-
I feel
let's
like it
take
should-
forward where like
I feel like the it should be based in like a school year. So that way it's
Okay.
like a week.
I like that.
Are we
yeah.
creating a dating sim?
It's a date. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Are we
dating
not?
sim
It
video.
is a dating sim.
Okay.
We are making a dating sim.
Okay.
It would happen in a school year. There would be several viable people
It's
you could
candidates.
hook
Okay.
up
What
with.
about what if it's in a school year and there's multiple events that are on the calendar that you kind of
Ooh,
plan around?
randomized
Yes,
events.
yes,
Yes.
Like you
Love
know something
that.
is coming
got homecoming,
up.
you
And
got
you're trying to
prom.
get something.
Oh,
You got
no,
all
wait,
these-
yes,
yes,
unrandomized.
Yeah,
I was
alright.
thinking
so many
more
high
of
school
like,
events.
oh, I
So-
pulled a card and one of the
No,
classmates
They're
gets
key
cancer.
high school events or whatever that everyone has the tropes around. Like, oh shit.
So
this
do
is
we want to
gonna
say this game takes place during senior year?
happen. Yes, yes.
And you have to get a prom date.
Yeah, by getting to the prom date,
no,
you're
but
out
you
of
can
the
go to
friend zone.
date with a friend though.
How about
No,
that?
'cause that's-
that gets out of the sex thing. You no longer care about the sex. The goal of the game is to get a prom date.
Yeah.
No, but
And
you can still
that
be
is-
friend
that's
zoned at the
getting into
prom
the
date
friend zone.
though. You could still be friend zoned at the prom date.
I think
Hey.
we have to assume that if you get the prom date,
I'm
you're
sorry,
having
we
sex.
went to very different proms.
I never went to prom, but I imagine if I went to prom, I would have sex.
I went to two
I like to
different
maintain
proms,
that image of myself.
and they both sucked.
I'm sorry. I went to prom junior year, did not have sex with my date. So
Yeah.
Well, listen,
I was
maybe
banned
if
from
you were
prom.
nicer to me.
You were banned from prom?
Sam, I'm sorry, man. I didn't treat you right.
Yeah, right?
Did I not
You
send you
didn't rub my back.
I feel like you
Yeah,
told me at some
exactly.
point, but I
Oh
don't
shit,
remember.
dude. Like,
All right.
wait, back of your feet.
We
you
just
seem
did
like a
senior
feet guy.
prank where we
Oh,
dug
God.
like our graduation year into the football field.
Get
and
out
filled
of-
it with cement,
leave me.
and we got
You and
caught,
Paul drink of water. Those feet got to be sore at the
and
end of the
They
day.
wouldn't let me
No.
look at graduation or prom.
Jeez, you still got your diploma.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you go to
I will say, I,
graduation?
No, I
I
couldn't.
once
not even go.
went out, or
You can just like sit
sort
there.
of
No.
Everyone else walked.
knew
No, I
knew a
didn't
girl.
go.
We kind
I just
of
didn't care.
hooked
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Mhm.
You hooked up Sam. Is that what you just said?
And she had, and I'm not into feet, but she had the cutest feet that I was like, man, if I was into feet,
She has some nice.
this would be
petite feet.
jackpot.
I'll
Wait,
be
so
down.
then, okay, can we add that as like players are somewhat on uneven terrain because some players are into feet.
Oh, they
other
have
No,
players.
we've talked about so I
Every
think
player
different
has
players
a
have different things that they like or
preference.
they don't like. Yes, yes, yes.
I
Oh my God,
love
have
that.
you ever played-
That's the social
have you-
dynamic of figuring out what people like.
Wait,
right?
Exactly.
Because
hold
And
on.
you're like, yo, I want to play this game, but this time I want to play as the feet person.
Mike,
Okay.
have you ever played the
So, but
game
you don't know
Marrying
who the other
Mr.
person
Darcy?
It's kind of like
Darcy.
I know it's people if they want
Marrying
if they
Mr.
want
Darcy,
to get out
it
of
is-
your friend
it's a
zone,
card game
they
that's
need
based
to
off
Mickey,
of.
what's the game with contestants?
yeah,
be
let's-
into your
Mickey,
be into
easy
your
there,
feet. Just be
Chuck.
like, oh wait,
Come
you're into feet? Well, fucking I
Um,
love feet,
That's
so
hot,
we're
isn't
out of
it?
the friend
I don't
zone
wanna say
now.
that.
Like you're in.
I feel like
Yeah. What's
using
the
that
game
as
with
like a
Contessa and
template
those
though
characters?
would be because it's
Oh, you're
very
talking about,
simple
Coup?
based
It's a
on
dating
It could be kind of like
yeah,
Coup,
and
where
it's
everyone's
a
characters are
betrothal
down.
Oh,
game
100%. Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
play
It's
as
like
a woman and you have to get married off to one of the people from that
I
book.
want you to tell me about this game so that we avoid replicating it because I feel like that.
Right.
You don't
No,
wanna
but
make
here's the
exact
thing:
same
is I
game.
feel like we could use that as a stepping stool and then jump off with leathery
Okay,
rings.
wait. How does this betrothal game work? 'Cause
Um,
Are we
so
still
far it's
recording?
pretty
Oh, we
similar.
are.
So it's
Scooby's cat back, bro.
I can't remember all the
No.
details. How dare
So
you?
close.
But it's a very fun game. You play as the maidens from, is it Wuthering Heights?
Okay, wait.
Not
let me-
Wuthering Heights.
let me
Wait,
put
who's
this-
Mr. Darcy from?
Let me put this forward, guys. So what if you start?
No,
with
but our
not-
game will have the phone,
what
like
if
in the
you-
90s.
What if you start with not just like a single preference, but multiple preferences? Everybody has this, and you don't know what other people's preferences are, and your goal is to like uncover what they are through like doing things, and then
Yes.
You
make
wanna
a
try to find
proposal
her.
at the end of the game to go to prom together, and
the
if
right
you both
person.
match in a certain way, then you win.
So that's what Adam and
kinda
I were
like
just saying
Coup.
about the feet stuff. Is like one person has
So-
a preference for foot stuff, right? And
Wait,
so if
but
you
so
figure
the-
out they're
your
into foot stuff
preferences
or whatever,
are like
you can
Coup
play that being like, yo, like I will
characters.
rub your feet, and they'd be like,
Okay.
I love fucking that you're gonna rub my feet, and we're no longer in the
Yeah,
friend zone.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
whether
yeah.
you have like one or multiple preferences,
You have things that
something
you're
like
into.
that, yeah.
You have things
and
that
you
you
don't
have
know
kinks.
what the
You can
other
call 'em
person's
kinks. Just
preferences
call 'em
are.
kinks.
You have to
Wait,
figure
I'm
them
sorry.
out.
What?
And if you fail,
What
you get
simple
friend-zoned.
bitch would just be like,
But okay,
ooh,
then
he
what does
touched
being
my
friend
feet?
zone mean in the game? Does being friend zone mean
Right
you
one.
can't make a proposal?
Yeah, that's a
If
dead
you've
end.
been
Wait, what do you mean make a proposal?
I'd say if you get the
So,
friend
like, let's
zone
say
card
the
or
goal of the game
whatever.
is to like successfully go to prom with somebody. Like
Yep.
you make a and there's a reveal at one point of the game where you're like, okay, I know that person and I are compatible. I'm going to ask him to prom. and then you like both flip over your cards or something.
So
like
prom
that.
is basically your final chance to be like, yo, we're down to
Exactly.
fuck.
The whole game is about
Yeah,
going to prom together. Something like that.
Again with
With-
fucking.
And the best
No,
moments
but
would be when people
it has to be a
are like,
sexual
no, I'm not going
partner,
to
so
prom
you-
with you.
It's a
I'm going to prom with
relationship
You have
thing.
to invite.
Exactly.
You have to invite the right
And so-
person to prom. If you invite
If
the right
a,
person to
if
prom,
a turtle, if a woman
Yeah,
can
'cause you
marry
can
a
express
street
multiple
lamp, sex
preferences.
does not
Because
need
there
to
can
be
be multiple-
involved.
Oh,
yeah, but then that
shit.
woman
Yeah.
would be in a friend zone with a fucking street lamp.
She is not in the friend zone with the street lamp. She was married
If
to
there's
it.
no
This is a real
sexual-
thing.
if there's no sexual element to it,
There
I
are
would
people
argue
who
that there's
marry
not a
inanimate
relationship
objects.
like
I
that.
will, let me
Maybe your
let me
gender
add
in
this
the game
twist.
doesn't matter
There
at all.
has to be
It
a sexual
shouldn't.
You
element.
can just say what your gender is, but it makes no
They're all
difference.
No, it should make a
pieces
difference.
on a
It should make a
board.
difference.
Everybody's a fucking Goomba.
Okay,
I'm not arguing that sex should make a difference. I'm arguing that like sexuality should make a difference. It's like you want to fuck something.
right.
All right,
you're going to prom with the
Tucker
implication
Carlson.
that
You're
you're
But the
going
implication
to
is fuck. And if you
anything.
choose the wrong person or whatever, then
Right.
you failed.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think we're all on the
And
same
there's a
page.
special
But then let me
card that
say,
helps you win the game at the end if you get at the right point where you get to fuck a squirrel. Boom, and you still win.
If the squirrel's into it, then
Guys,
yes, it's a great relationship.
All right,
let me
what
add-
squirrel
wait,
isn't?
wait.
Am I right?
Let me add that you
Missed.
don't. It's not just
for you.
you match with a single player. You could match with multiple players. And like
Wait, are we
Wait, you can't
matching?
take multiple
I'm
years of
sorry.
prom.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Is there's a phase at the very end when I'm like, Adam, will you go to prom with me? And even though Adam and I are compatible, he'd be like, no, I'm going to prom with Steve because of like because he
Just
thinks
turn on
you
the
guys are
ends.
more compatible.
Wait,
Oh, but you still have
like
one
that.
person
Hold
you're
on.
going to prom with.
Exactly.
It's just like,
so
okay,
it's not just
you-
about
I-
it's not just about figuring out if you're compatible. It's figuring out if you're more compatible than everybody
Yes,
else.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
wait,
I
no,
hear what
but
you're saying.
this-
Yes,
It has
this
to
is-
be surprising.
no.
So the votes of who you're going
Exactly.
to prom
No,
with,
no,
you never
no.
fully
Yes.
agree, but you
I
vote
disagree.
on it.
No, you have to make a
I need to-
decision. You have to
I
make a
need to
You have
decision.
somebody
make
Yes.
my
secret vote, and then
voice
you flip it
heard.
over, then everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh no, Steve got bailed on."
Steve or Sam,
Yes.
what is your proposal here?
I can't help but feel like having it be player to player, like, oh man, hey guys, want to sit down for a quick game of Friendzone? I'm gonna fuck you. Game over. It seems too.
No, you
No,
can't just
shut
say I'm
up!
going to fuck
Shut
you.
the
That's
fuck up!
consensual.
Shut up! Stop interrupting me. So here's the thing. I feel like you should have to try to like in marrying Mr. Darcy. I feel like the suitors or whoever you're trying should be NPCs. They should have like there are things you can do to attain their respect or love, but you can't.
Oh, you think about the
More
phone?
like a dating
You go back to the
simulator.
phone
Like,
game again, like where
Because the way you guys are describing it sounds like it would be perfect for like speed dating, which I don't know if that's still a thing.
I was thinking more like coup, just like quick.
Yeah.
No.
I like
Yeah.
that. This
No,
is
but
a
that's
great game.
also a fucking $1 million idea.
Yeah,
I
right?
thought it was
No,
maybe
for
like
sure.
A
There's
speed
market
dating
for-
fucking game.
yeah.
Hell yeah, fucking. How
But
old is your?
you're envisioning it
bank
as like
account?
you're,
Here's the speed
you're envisioning it as
aspect.
we're shooting NPCs.
The
though.
speed aspect is these are the events. It's like you
Right.
have like homecoming or the Sally whatever dance. You have like these
The
events.
Sally whatever dance.
That all-
who can forget?
The
Whatever.
Maggie, Sally, whatever dance.
But then so there's only a fixed number of turns, and then
what's
The
that
last,
Susie
called?
Maggie Sally's
the last-
whatever dance.
the
Sally,
last
May,
turn
Maggie,
is the
whatever
prom.
dance.
No, where's the
Just
one that
keep
girls
adding
invite the guys
names.
to it?
Isn't it Sally or is it
No.
Sadie Hawkins.
City
Sadie
Hawkins. Yeah.
that's it.
You got
Sally
there.
threw us
But you
off.
know what I'm saying, right? It's just like you have 6 events or something, and then prom. So it's a short game. There's only a certain number of turns, and what. Yeah.
But this is a key point, though. Not talking about what you're talking about, but what Sam's talking about, which is like, do we want the players to have to
guys.
hook up with the other players versus the players have to find the right NPC?
Competing for an
Here-
NPC
to
or
guys,
a group of
guys,
NPCs.
guys, I think I got this. Okay, so there's let's say there's 6 dances and then there's prom.
Mm-hmm.
So during each phase, you ask to go to the dance with somebody, and at that point, it's kind of non-committal. You could say yes, and it's just a scoping out.
Yep.
And when you go to the dance, you get to exchange a card. And that's all the information you get. And by the end of it, then you have to
It's getting to
figure
know
out-
someone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I like that element. Yeah, I like that element a lot. Because that's the whole point of it, right? Is like you get to know
and there's
someone,
like,
whatever.
let's say there's like everybody gets like 3 preferences, and on a date you get to exchange like 1 preference with that person.
Yeah, be like,
And you
I
have to-
like this,
but you
whatever.
can't
And
go on a
if
date
their
with multiple
card says
people,
I'm into that,
you have to go
like
through the game.
So
yeah.
you just show them this.
But what?
preference?
Oh,
would
and it'd
pass
be
it then.
so
So at the start of the
realistic
game,
because
you're
you
dealt
could put in
three
a bunch of
preferences.
work.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
If
you
they
say,
match
them.
preferences or whatever, it's like,
Oh,
oh wait,
I think
you
that's
matched
it,
my preference.
right?
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
so good.
Yes,
And
yes,
so people will know and should know.
yes.
fucking good work.
Well, only
boys.
one person of the 2
Can I get
might know
anybody
that
anything?
the preference is
take another
matched as
one.
well.
Okay.
Which can make
Are you
interesting
done with that?
twists.
You need me-
All right, so
yeah.
here's what I'm saying: is there's 4 of us. It would take me like literally
5 of
like
us.
5
Pancake
minutes
is
to just make this game,
So,
and we could test it.
you
guys
here
down
goes
with
back
that?
to my conversation. My point with the NPC versus real players. If you have NPCs, you could have fewer players playing the game, and it could still work. If you want to have it as just real people, you would have to have it be a larger game, because you couldn't. I don't think you could play this game with 4 people and have it work if you had to have the matches that you made be the real people.
So okay, I guess here's what I'm thinking, and tell me if this is what you're thinking. Let's say Adam and I go to a dance.
Yep.
And we both match.
Yep.
And then we're like, okay, let's go to another dance. We both match.
Yep.
And then we go to a third dance. We're like, okay, we both match. Then are we just running down the clock until we just
Yes.
both choose each other for prom?
Yes, you are.
Is there a way that there could be like, okay, how about this? You can't go to
Well,
a
I
dance
decide-
with somebody twice in a row.
Twice in a row. So I could invite Adam to a dance or whatever, and I could not accidentally, but I could
think
match
maybe
with
that's
him or
all
whatever,
right.
right? And so at the end of it, whatever, we're basically both suiting Adam, and Adam has to choose
Exactly.
one of the 2 of us.
Bell
That's
of
what we
the
wanna get
ball.
to, yeah.
And then,
We
and then,
want these difficult
wait,
choices.
here's the thing.
I'm
though.
back.
There could be multiple people that choose each other
Mm-hmm.
at prom, but you add up how many preferences they have in common, and that's the winner. So you might choose somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You might know you and somebody else have 2 preferences in common.
Oh, but if
you're
it's a-
actually going for the person you have 3 preferences in common with.
Oh, but
Question.
wait, if it's a tie, do you get to do the Zach Morris thing of I have 2 dates at the prom? How do I do this?
No, but it's not.
Juggle
it's not
these
a
people.
threesome. It's not a threesome. I'm saying it's like
No, it's a
couples or something.
Mrs. Doubtfire
So, like,
situation
me and
where
Adam
I
could
have
go
to
to the
change
prom.
costume and run across.
Me and Adam could choose each
Pretend to be
other.
one person and another person.
Yeah.
Me and Adam could choose each other for the prom, and you and Sam could choose each other for the prom.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean it's a tie.
Whoa.
Who wins?
I'm
is,
sorry,
is
I
the
chose
pair
Adam
that
for
has
the
the most
prom.
preferences.
No
in common.
offense.
Yeah, of
Question,
course.
though.
Fits right in the nape
it
of my
has
neck.
to be
in
like
just
a
way.
It's
blind
just the way
choice
that's
at the end,
so
so that
beautiful.
way
Right?
there's tension.
Yes.
Question: are the preferences that we're talking about, are, let's say in your example, whatever?
I feel like the game
if
should
let's
be
say
called
using the feet
Queer
example
Prom,
is
and everybody should
Adam
be like a drag
feet,
queen.
and
you choose, like,
you
your
play a
drag queen
feet
character
card,
at the
and that
beginning,
matches
and
for
that's,
him,
like, who
whatever.
you are, and you have your
Or are you
preferences
saying
with
that
it.
like you both
Can I
happen
say
to
that's
have
fun?
feet
But I
card,
feel
and so
like
you're
that's
both
we've
into feet.
gone
Exactly.
past the
No,
time.
no,
when
which
that
of
would
those
be
are those?
Oh,
appropriate.
sorry. Give me the 2 options.
So
A good
one is
drag
that
queen
his
game, dude,
characteristic
like,
is he's into feet.
2000.
And so you
It's not a
take
drag
him to the
2008
person
to
and you're like, you know what, I think you're into
2013,
feet.
I feel like
And you
that
play
would have
that
been
card on
great.
Right?
It's just
Okay.
the characters
And
of
so
drag queens.
he says,
It's
like,
not a
yes,
drag
that's
queen
like
game,
one
it's
of
just
my
going with your
things.
But
prom.
here's the thing. I think there should
Or
be
is
no
it like
way
you're
it
both
doesn't
doing the
matter
same
what the
thing, which is like
gender
you're
is.
both
Well, then it could be
all
monster
people
prom.
that you drew in
It'd
your
be
hand,
fucking
right?
Frankenstein
And so
we
dating
have
a
all
wolf,
the
and gone to
a
dance,
wolf
and you're like,
woman.
This is a franchise.
somehow
Or a wolf man.
choose a card and it
All
matches.
these
It's like,
versions
oh,
of
wait, we're
it.
both
Well,
into
no,
feet.
because the
Different
Which is it?
kinks.
Is
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
is
yeah.
it
This
you
is
as the suitor just
unlistenable.
figure out what he likes,
Yeah.
or is it that you're
Or
both
us
into the
talking
same thing?
over.
Let me run this idea by you. So like, let's say you and I are going to a dance together.
Mm-hmm.
I would pass. Let's say I have 3 cards, 3 different preferences, and you have 3 different preferences. I pass you a card of my choice face
Our
down.
conversation was better.
You pass me a card of your choice face down.
Yep.
We each look at the other person's card and send it back. And we can have an over-the-table communication, but then we just give information. So
Oh
we
my
kinda
god,
wanna
it's a
keep it to
business
ourselves.
meeting. I'm gonna
And then,
slide
like,
a number
I
across
might
the
know-
desk.
I might know that you're into feet.
What a
Yep.
because of
move!
the card you
I want
passed
to do
me.
that.
Yep.
You might know I'm into like face because of the card I passed you.
Yep.
But
We
you say it
didn't.
out
We didn't
loud.
have to both pass each other the same
What?
card.
No.
is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And so I developed this knowledge. Okay, we're both into face, and you developed this knowledge. Okay, we're both into feet, and then the only
Yeah. So again, you're
communication
playing
we
the
wanna
card that
have
you're
is,
the
hey, let's go to a
characteristics of the
dance
card you're
together again.
given.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're on the same page. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I like that where you're not trying to match cards, you're just trying to match the person's
You want to have the most
the character that they're
kinks
playing's
that you share in
characteristics. Yeah.
The more kinks you
It's
have,
getting
the
more
better.
sexual.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily about in common or whatever. It's more about like you understand that person
You
likes
just
that
have
thing.
things in common of like, oh man,
That's
they
what the kinks
also
are. The
love.
kinks are
I would
the
also
things.
say,
We're just
what
calling
if we
them
made
kinks for gameplay terms?
what if we made
We're calling them
preferences?
kinks, yeah.
What if we made preferences into just hobbies? Like that's a little bit
Yeah,
more
yeah,
PG,
it's a little more
and
universal,
you're looking
yeah.
for people that you have hobbies in common.
Sure, movies.
This is the PG
sports.
version. The kinks is the
It's
The
adult version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
oh, yeah,
great,
that's
though.
right, you can
That's,
do
there's an
versions.
expansion.
Ah,
Yeah.
Well, I was
we'll
gonna
have
say-
the aliens and monsters version where the kinks are like
That's brilliant.
slime
If
and
that's
I-
fucking brilliant. You get
I
two
love
versions.
that.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
If I could
Yeah.
get a word in fucking edgewise, I was gonna say expansions. If we started it with like high school dances, there could be a got married too young expansion, and it's like have a baby to save your marriage kind of thing. Like just
there's like a 5-person marriage,
Wait,
like
wait.
some kind of Mormon family.
I don't understand. Like, so you have a kid to save your marriage, so like you just do that as an action card?
yeah, I don't know.
Wait, but like the whole point is getting out of the friend. If you already
Right, but now you have to stay out of the friend zone.
I think Friendzone
Divorce
still
is
works
for
as a name for this
Friendzone.
game.
I don't
by the
know,
way.
man.
I think it's legit.
Look, I'm just
And-
trying shit out.
And
You're-
I think it avoids the pitfall of having to be incel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we really don't need
Celibate.
to editorialize about the friend zone.
Maybe
I'm just a
an
cell,
interesting
baby.
twist would be you can trap people
These
in this
incels
game.
are losers.
For
I'm just a
example,
cell.
somebody can get pregnant, and now they have to take
I think that's
somebody.
funny.
Maybe they get to take 2 dates to the prom, so 2 people
I
go
like
with
this.
them. So
Fuck,
they
that's
get
still recording.
more victory points. At
Cut
the
that
end.
out.
cut.
Okay.
Okay, so hold on.
So maybe it's like
we're-
the number of turns is the number of players, and then there's a prom phase. And that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
So okay,
Quick.
no. So
5-minute games.
earlier I meant to mention this and I didn't.
Just win.
But I swear to God, I'm
Yeah,
smart. But no, if we did it in a school year, it's like,
Okay.
say, how many weeks are there in a school year?
I think we were saying there's gonna be like 5 or 6 events.
Every week or maybe every month is a turn, and it's like you get to do.
Okay, like, what is this?
You get like 3
Last
actions, and it's like you can talk to 3 different people and try to
I did,
woo them.
Steve.
You get 3 woos.
So I think we were talking about like different like. Oh.
You get Johnny Woo, Jimmy Woo,
Thank
Jason
you.
Woo.
I think we were talking about having different like dances, quote unquote, whatever. And I think we said you can't invite the same person to the dance twice in a row.
Yeah.
So you get
Right.
like, let's say 5 or 6.
So no, but every
dances
turn,
or
every
whatever.
turn would end with the dance.
Yes.
And it would be like what girl went out with who, and it
Yes,
would everyone
yes.
would count up
Getting
their points
pregnant
or whatever.
something.
Yes, you would invite a different person or whatever.
'Cause I feel
and-
like if we
and
were to have
point-
like this as a card-based game, just like getting a card, it's like, oh, you can get pregnant for your date. Like that's not enough. It has to be like some special action that you can
Thank
take
you.
somehow. That's,
That's my middle.
there
name.
should be actions versus just matching. I would agree with that.
so like, how do you get to the action where you trap somebody into going to the dance with you?
Can
Like
you have,
Can you play a card that's like drugs? I drugs them.
I feel like you'd fail.
I get them hooked on pills.
I feel like
Now
you'd
they
fail
have to
doing
go to
that
the
though. You're not
dance
really
with you.
getting
Yeah.
out of
You
the
get
friend zone
pregnant.
though.
They have to go to the dance with you.
It's not the friend zone because at that point you are enemies.
Yeah, you're literally raping someone.
You are Tom and Jerry, and you are a
But I do feel like, to your point though, there should be sort of like these trap things where you just like you prevent someone from going to the dance with someone you think that you
ooh.
can stop them type of thing.
Ooh, that would
Okay.
be so good if
I
you
like
could
that.
play cards to like prank your friends, other players, and be like,
Well,
"Oh,
it'd be
I
like
made
you-
it. I made it look like he tries to play a card where it's like, oh, I wrote a song for this girl and I try to perform it at talent show, and another guy plays a card that's like, I make him shit his pants.
I wasn't even thinking along those lines, but yeah.
Like
Could you play a card that
because
basically
it's like, oh,
replaces
he's
one of their
trying
cards?
to, because clearly there have to be less partners than there are players, and they're all fighting over them. So, yeah, so that would be, there'd have to be like Mario Kart style. I blue shell this
Exactly.
motherfucker.
Yes. There should be
So
ways to
special
do that.
action.
Like this guy with all the handsome points.
No. So it's just like me and you, basically. We've gone on the first date, whatever. Clearly, we're just like, oh man, we just hit it off.
I mean,
And-
clearly.
So
and,
may-
and
maybe
Adam's just
when
like,
you have
oh
a
man, you know what? Like,
successful
I don't
first
want
date-
I don't want that to happen again. So I'm going to play a card that stops that somehow. Whether it's a forced go on a date with someone else, or
No,
it's a
it's a
blue
rumor
shell
card.
versus like I can do a rumor.
It's a
like
rumor card.
I can
it's like you spread a rumor that XYZ.
What if each turn, each person gets 2 cards, one from the person they're trying to woo, and one from someone else who is trying to spread a rumor around them. The person, and the rumor's obviously not true, so the person says like, hey, I'm into feet stuff, the other one says I'm into butt stuff or whatever. The person who's getting wooed or whatever has to figure out like which one.
So the question is, though, are they allowed to share their other cards? Because like, oh, I like butt stuff too, and I gave them the foot stuff card. And like,
Ooh,
they can be
yeah,
like, I like butt stuff.
That could
and so
be
now,
it.
immediately they know they have like
Of
two
I
in common or
I
something.
play a card that's like, hey man, Steve loves butt stuff. Little do I know, Steve does like butt stuff.
Mm-hmm. So it could be like a
You
misleading
agreed
thing.
to that way too fast. Steve
No,
likes
no,
butt
it
stuff.
could
Got
be like
him.
a misleading
Got
thing.
him.
No, my point is like the whole point is about deceit, right? So it could be a misleading thing. Where
It's high school. It's all about deceit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like you're saying that you like one thing or whatever, but someone else plays something
Deceit of power.
saying that you like something else. And so the person who's being wooed has to determine, well, like, I'm into this, whatever, but the other person's actually saying that they thought you were into this. And
I thought you were cool.
I don't know. I like the whole, like, high school rumor aspect to this. I don't know how to make it work perfectly, but I like that element to it.
Yes.
Okay, wait. What if instead of passing one card during a dance, you could pass as many of your cards as you wanted? So you could let your freak flag fly and put all your cards.
Oh,
on
at
the
a
table
dance?
to the
Like that was like a go for it moment.
Exactly.
I like that.
Or do you want to withhold?
Maybe you can only do that if you go without a date.
Well,
Also,
I
are
was
you
gonna
saying-
say,
on
I
your
think
own
you
to
have to
that,
play
then
with
you
your
can do
players.
all those
Stag, by you passing
Yeah.
cards, are you saying you're
Which is
into this,
fine.
or are you saying that you think they're into that?
You're into it.
So you're
'Cause you're
agreeing that
only-
you're both into it.
Exactly. So it's like the way I'm seeing it is like everybody at the start of the game is dealt like 3 hobbies.
Yep.
And then you are trying to like find the prom date that you have the most hobbies in common with and choose them.
Okay.
So like you go on let's say it's the first turn, first up it's like the Halloween dance. You could give all 3 of your hobbies to their player.
I'm
They
sorry,
might-
it's called the Halloween hop.
But if you do that, they might realize that you only have like 2 hobbies in common. And you wouldn't know necessarily what their hobbies are because they might only toss you 1 card.
Yep.
And by doing that, that person might then choose to not go on as many dances with you and start looking for another partner, which you want to discourage. I don't know if it would play out like that. But I guess what I'm asking is, like, what do you think about the idea of giving not just 1 card per dance, but, like, any number of cards?
I like the number of cards. What I like from it is the rumor spreading element to it.
Yeah.
I think what I'm also still trying to figure out is the mechanics of matching, right?
Yeah.
So if, let's say, we have, each person has like
watched the
5
movie,
interests
man,
or
Jay?
hobbies, if we're going to call it hobbies, right? Each person has 5 hobbies. Does success
Stop thinking
look
about
like
that
that
since it
you
came out.
match with the person that has the most hobbies with you, and so you all fail if, let's say, like, how do we make it so like there's guaranteed each of the cards or personas that you're playing, we know that there's only going to be like 3 hobbies in common or whatever, and everything else is going to be less than that or something like that. you know?
Yeah. Like, I guess you're saying you could deal such that, like, 2 players have 3 things in common, but no other players have that. So they just
Yeah,
have
that's
an
what I'm
advantage.
saying. Is like if we're going with like the finding in common thing, there has to be a way to say that like these people are the guaranteed people to have the most in common, and
Yeah.
there has to be an error involved where it's like, oh, I think that we have a lot in common, but
has
actually
to
we
be
don't
a
have as much in
deeper
common
gameplay
as
element
someone
than just
else.
trying to
You
match.
know?
So what if there's like a personal growth where you have to actually get rid of a hobby? Everybody gets rid of a hobby and gets a new hobby, and so it kind of changes things
remember
mid-game.
how everybody. What other
Oh, that's
hobbies are.
interesting.
That's very interesting. 'cause people do change.
I'll say
Right.
this, in marrying Mr. Darcy, for sure, there's way to earn points, but then the suitors are like, it's, if we were gonna make this super like cisgender normed, it was like, oh man, this is the hot list of chicks.
Maybe you only get to suit so many people, and you choose before every turn who you're going to try to suit. And they can suit somebody else.
Well, you got to
Then
pick
choose
one
to
because
pick.
there's not enough for everybody.
Yeah, so like in like a 3-person game, you pick 1 person. In a 4-person game, maybe you pick 2. and you get to talk to both of those people during that before the dance.
But I like the element of, like, what you were saying about laying multiple cards down is, like, at the end of the game, whatever, you can just lay it all on the line and be like, yo, I haven't talked to you the entire time. I haven't gone out with you once, whatever. I'm going to lay all my cards on the line.
That would be maybe
And
once
just do a
you
Hail
go
Mary
to
type
the,
of deal. Like,
you do that at the dance.
Do you guys remember that movie?
You decide not to go on a date with either of your suitors, and so you just go to you get to go to the dance and let your freak flag fly.
Yeah, I like that element of, like, yeah, being in Hail Mary, letting your feet flag fly, like the mechanics
It's like maybe
of it
somebody
being
will see it, they'll be like, oh yeah, this person obviously matches better with me.
I
and
spent
they'll
most
talk
of my
with you.
turns shooting other people that did not clearly work out or whatever. I've run out of time, and I just want to let my fleet flag, like, you know what? Haven't talked to you yet. Yeah,
And I
go
feel
for
like
it.
at the end of the dance, there has to be something that determines, like, oh, I've had a successful dance or not.
At the end of the day, it's end of the year. End of the year.
Or even every dance. So you get a successful dance, you get a special card. And that
Okay.
card gives you a special action for maybe the next dance that you can use at the end of it.
Oh, so like you
So,
both like you both laid down like you're both interested in like miniature building, whatever, and you get a reward for doing so.
I'm
Pretty
sorry,
much.
is that
I
a
feel like-
normal thing?
I was switching to hobbies versus like
I
kinks.
feel like the cards you
Miniature
get-
building.
yeah, models.
The cards you get have to be like game changing in some way.
What are you
you
talking
guys-
about? I love
so,
models.
for
We live
example,
against models, man.
You
You
guys
could
are
get-
basically just promoting a I Love You, Beth Cooper, the game. You remember that movie?
No.
Paul Russ?
No.
Classic.
So you
Or
you
during
can
his
get- you get
graduation
special
speech, he
actions
goes, I
that-
love you, Beth Cooper.
that can force people to go to
He
the prom
admits
with you.
his love for a girl he's never spoken
Okay,
to.
wait. So let me repeat that back because what I guess I'm thinking is like after a dance, then like there's like a phase where everybody's just doing like
It's a bold move.
locker room talk or something, and you can choose to share what you saw, and if you do, like Adam says,
With like one
you
other
get a-
person, one other person.
sure, you
maybe,
get a
yeah, yeah.
reward. But you might not want to give up information publicly because then they'd make a case that they're a better partner than you. So,
'Cause they would have a match,
You
yeah.
learn something about this person, what their hobbies are.
Yep.
You could share what it is and take something, or you could keep it to yourself and try to like keep it a secret so you can.
Yeah,
win the
you
game.
learn they're into movies, right? So
yeah.
you're like, I can either share this to get information from you about a different person, or I can choose not to share it because I think.
Or I could tell
I
you,
was gonna say, we're so
yeah,
fucking
man,
good
they're
at this.
totally into broccoli when they're not, and just fuck your game up.
You're saying.
Out of liquid.
Oh, we are. Okay.
That hurt.
Wow, that went too quick.
I'm trying to think of like, all right. So what do like cards for this look like? It's basically, what if there's like
Maybe multiple decks.
8.
A deck of like preferences.
You know the beer.
A deck of some kind of like game changing cards. A deck
I'm
of
good for
rumors
right now.
that you get to use during it to affect actions. And then you get to pick them as intervals.
Okay, wait. Here's how I think maybe it could go, where it's like, or I'm sorry, not to discount what you're saying, because I actually didn't quite forward that. But let me put
Go
forth
for
a
it.
different one, maybe, which is like, let's say there's 4 of us, so just to like start it off, just to like throw a dart. Let's say there's 8 possible hobbies.
Oh, watch where you're throwing that thing.
There's 8 possible hobbies.
No? All right.
Hobbies.
fuck me.
Hobbies
Okay.
or personas?
Hobbies.
Yeah, so there's 4 of us, so there's 8
And then
hobbies,
so
we each
every
get
single
3.
person, we take like
We should all have
one of the 8, we
overlapping
shuffle
hobbies.
it, and we deal it out, so you get 3 different hobbies, but nobody knows what they are.
Okay.
So everybody has 3 of this like pool of 8 or something like that. Maybe like even 6 lower.
So no one matches in hobbies then.
Not, but some people will. I mean, that's what I'm saying is if I'm dealt 3.
Oh, you're
could
saying
be
the
dealt
duplicates
same
of the
3.
8 hobbies.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
Exactly. So everybody, you can't get more than 1 of a hobby, but people will match on hobbies.
Okay.
And then,
Oh, so each person has like 8 hobbies that they deal out to themselves, or
Right.
3 of which to themselves.
and then that's the card aspect. And then there's 4 turns. Each turn is a dance. And the way that a turn works is like you have to find somebody to go with you. And because let's assume the game has to be played with an even number of players, which is fine for now.
You have to invite someone. You can't invite multiple people. Or
I don't think we can break. Let me just put that one aside for
Yeah.
1 second. Just assume. Let's say we're dealing with like 4 people. So, let's say you and Adam want to pair up. Then Sam and I will pair up. Like we might not want to, but at least we do.
sure.
Ouch.
So
Yeah, couples can only be
Sorry.
2s. Couples can only be 2s.
So then there's the
okay.
dance phase,
Yep.
which is where you pass your partner as many cards as you want,
And interest.
and interest.
You're saying you have 3
You have 3. Everybody has 3 cards. You could pass 1 to 3 cards to your partner.
Well, I'm saying, the cards that you're passing are your interests.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Yeah.
The partner looks at them, passes them back, and then we go into the locker room talk the next day, and people can discuss publicly what they want, but I can't pull Sam aside and be like, hey, I think we're a great match. But I could be like, yo, Sam and I had a lot in common. Or I could be like, Sam likes ponies, which would maybe blow up my spot, because maybe Adam likes ponies too, and Adam's going to be like, yeah, and then Adam's going to be like, yo, Sam, let's go on a date. And they might realize that they match on ponies and cassettes or something like that, right? So we got the dance, and then we get the locker room talk, and we just do 4 turns of that, and then finally, then it's prom phase, and everybody like writes down who they choose, face down, and then it's all revealed at the same time, and 2 players win if 1 they match, and 2 they have the most hobbies in common out of the pairs.
They match as in they chose each other?
Right, so like me and Sam could choose each other because we know that you and Adam are going to choose each other.
Mm-hmm.
Are we just making the dating game?
Wait, so you're saying
I'm into
so
it.
just like the invite to the dance, you're saying choosing each other has to be a mutual type of thing. You can't have a situation where like you choose Sam and I choose Sam.
That's like the win. That's the end of the game.
Okay.
Is the prom, and
I'm
exactly.
the ball, aren't I?
Okay.
No. The difference
got my
is
card.
you might not get paired up with somebody for prom. You will always get paired up with somebody for a dance.
Yep.
But prom, like Adam was saying
prom,
earlier,
you choose your person you want to go with,
right.
And so
you and
Sam
I
could
could
have
both
all of
with
us
Sam,
go for him, and he would
Sam
choose who
would
he
choose one
wants.
player,
Yes,
and then
okay.
Sam would win with that player.
Yes. Yeah.
But what happens if you both choose Sam? Sam chooses me, and I choose one of you.
Then nobody wins.
No one wins.
No one,
Yep.
But nobody goes to prom?
No, right? Nobody goes to prom.
Yeah, it wouldn't be advantageous for Sam to choose. Well, I guess Sam would have to choose one of us if we all went for him. But
So
if
either-
you choose Mike or whatever,
yeah, either
Mike and I
everybody
choose Sam, and
loses or
technically
2
you and
players
Mike and you and Sam were the best match. No one would win. Yeah.
I hate to do this, but I've got to say, what if we've been looking at this wrong from the beginning? What if Friendzone is a game where you play as a young lady and
There's no liquid in this.
multiple...
No, I know. I know, that really hurt me too.
I don't know why I did that. I forgot. Sorry,
multiple dudes are constantly trying to bang you, and you have to let them
Friendzone.
down easy.
How do you let them down?
Oh,
easy?
you are the person.
I don't know, just
putting
don't
people in
get
the friend
fucking
zone?
abducted. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's a very different vibe.
it's very different
Maybe
vibe.
not like a bad vibe, but it's
It's
definitely
different
a
game.
radical shift.
Yeah, I had to do it to him.
That sounds like a single player game almost.
That would be a good single player game for sure. Fending off just like incels.
Dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah, catcalls and shit.
Okay, so wait. Here's what I'm saying is then we can play test this. I'm just gonna get 32 cards, and then we're gonna do 4 copies of 8 hobbies, deal them out, and then everybody will have 3 hobbies, and then we'll just do 4 turns and then prom phase.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay, let me just go get the cards, and I'll start
Okay.
writing them out.
Word up. Do we record this?
Yep. I'm gonna turn it off now.
I was gonna say, we'll cut to later.